Good evening from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Tuesday, April 20th market update. On the economic front, no really market moving data today. On deck for tomorrow is the weekly EIA petroleum status report, which of course could impact oil and oil related stocks. Of course, we're in earnings season, so I'll go over just a couple of them. Of course, Apple was after the close, had a huge beat on earnings, coming in at $3.33 earnings per share on revenue of $13.5 billion. Estimates was for $2.45 earnings per share on $12.04 billion. So that was a huge, even on revenue, it was almost $1.5 billion more than what the estimates were. So last I looked, Apple in extended hours was up about 13 points to about $259 a share. Yahoo beat today, but it was light on revenue, and it it kind of sold off. It's kind of weak. Seagate, STX beat on revenue and was in line, and it actually was up in after hours last I looked. And Cree beat, but was light on revenue, and it was getting beat up after hours, so it was down. Not sure by how much. So those are just a few I happened to look at. The dollar, gold, silver, copper, oil were all up today, which doesn't happen very often that they're all up together, but they were today. We look at the UUP, the dollar ETF. The MACD is still kind of weak here, and the dollar's got some resistance here. There's no buying in the dollar at these levels. So as long as this dollar, even though it's up a little bit today, stays weak, I assume the commodities will continue to plow higher. So we'll be watching that. But gold was actually kind of weak today as well. We'll take a look at that here after we look at oil. Light sweet crude futures were up 72 cents today to settle at $83.85 a barrel. We actually didn't go anywhere today. We went on a sell signal yesterday on oil. We have this new price objective of $78, which is down here where this uptrend line is. So of course we won't go back on a buy unless we take out the previous column of X's. So we'd have to print $88 a barrel to go back on a buy signal. So right now we really didn't move all that much today, even though a lot of the oil services stocks were definitely getting run up today. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's go to look at the Dow. The Dow was up 25 points to 11,117. S&P closed up 9 points to 1,207. NASDAQ closed up 20 points to 2,500. And the Russell closed up 10 points to 721. The Russell had the largest percent gain, up 1.43%. And the Dow had the smallest gain, only up 0.23%. So the Russell's back to leading, so that makes me a little more bullish. I'm actually been pretty cautious up here after this day here. So we're basically still inside this day, this big red bearish candle. And we kind of had it was a very slow grind higher today. Actually, look, we might go a little lower at one point, and then we didn't. So I think the Russell gaining some strength helped, and probably some of the energy stocks up helped as well. So we're still in this trend line. We're still in the trend line. We're still fine here. MACD is kind of leveled off. So, I keep thinking we're getting a little toppy, but I keep thinking that, and you wind up missing out on trades because you're not in as many as you probably could be. Again, S&P is the same. We haven't taken out the high of this big bearish candle yet, so we're basically kind of still inside it. MACD is just kind of flattened out here, so we'll be watching the high here of 1,213. We'll call it 1,214. We'll be watching to see if we can take that out or not. And NASDAQ's the same way. We're still right in here, so we're still look fine. The volume was okay today. It wasn't great, but wasn't bad either. So it was decent. It was all right. Let's take a look at the XLF financial. So we actually, on this trend line here, we kind of took it out. Then we had all this buying yesterday, and then we had a little more today. Not as heavy, and this, the MACD still kind of turned down here, so I'm kind of wishy-washy on the financials right now. Most of them, even Goldman Sachs, of course, they sold off after earnings, and then so did Bank of America some, and I don't know, they're just kind of financials. I think because of the news on Goldman Sachs, they're still struggling. Let's look at J.P. Morgan. JP Morgan, same way, then they sold off. Of course, we had that day that everything was sold off, but so I don't know. They're kind of hard to read it right now. I mean, we've definitely got resistance up here on JP Morgan around the 47. So until it can get over that resistance, at least the middle of this large candle, then I'm a little bearish on the banks right now. And let's look at the VIX. Volatility index down 9.28%, no volatility. So now we went back right through there, so forget about that. And the MACD's rolled back over, so we're just kind of, again, not much volatility. Let's look at gold. Gold kind of struggled today. You can see it was actually higher, and then it pulled back. It seems to have a little bit of resistance here where it broke down. It didn't sell off or anything. It was positive, but it seemed to struggle a little bit today. Let's look at silver, SLV. Same way, silver was closed right there at 1748, which was almost at its low. So it seems to be struggling too. About halfway point of this large bearish candle would be kind of a first level of resistance on the way up, and it definitely is having some resistance issues there. Probably going to depend on the dollar and on the euro. Quick look at the FXE. It was kind of weak today, so that probably might have been affecting some of the commodities a little bit. Look at copper via JJC. JJC, the MACD's pointed down. I actually think copper could have some more downside in it, and especially if it breaks this uptrend line. So even though it's kind of got a triangle started here, and it's also had some problems here getting above, got this resistance area, that midpoint of the candle. So let's go take a look at the sectors. So 13 of the 16 sectors we follow finished in the green today. Oil services index had the large percent gain at 4.01%. They were definitely buying those today. And the broker dealer index was the weakest, down 0.49%. Over to chart watch, some new ideas. Of course, I had to throw in some oil service ideas. Big breakout on a Halliburton today, which it had all this selling and then they're buying it. It's just kind of a mixed picture when it comes to the volume there. SLB breakout today here too. Volume wasn't that awesome, that great on this breakout. It was okay, but it wasn't all that great. So that was kind of a little iffy on that breakout, I think. Doesn't mean it won't hold though. Baker Hughes, I thought it was going to break down. It actually broke out today with great volume. Rig, another breakout, great volume. Weatherford, actually a lot of buying today. Breakout had earnings, and it's actually got MACD turned back up. That one's looking actually pretty good right around here. APA is just struggling to break out over this trend line, even though there's some volume coming in today. So just keep an eye over today's high of 108.43. Might be able to buy it, but it seems to want to break out and then it pulls back. It keeps faking everybody out. MasterCard's looking good. Visa looking good, and all the rest of these we've already looked at. EME was actually broke out today, went higher. We've been watching that one. Asia needs to go over today's high with some volume. It's still kind of hanging out there. It's got that resistance area. MDRX is trying to break out of this flag. Still hasn't done it, but it's almost did today. Boom. Watch this one consolidating after this nice breakout here, and then it's consolidating sideways. Typically bullish, so keep an eye on that one. ABC broke higher today, looking good. WCRX hanging out, but it's good. It's still holding that 27. That's all you want to see. CSX looking good. Another railroad, GWR. Genesis, Wyoming, consolidating sideways, typically bullish. We like that. FLIR still looking good. MLM going higher today, looking good. APOL looked like it was going to break out today and didn't do it, so keep an eye on it for a breakout. Amazon still holding up pretty well, just hanging right there. Shaw, we've been watching that, and it broke out today out of the channel. ACI breaking higher, looking good. I still like this Sienna as a short, unless it takes out above I would say the high of this candle, 38.65. If you can get it around there, I like it as a short still. And ANF, I like this MACD curling down. I actually like Abercrombie as a short up here. TZA, just keep your eye on it just in case the market does pull back, even though it never does. It just acts like it's going to. So watch it over that trend line. And oil, SCO, keep an eye on this one. There was not the ones buying here did not sell it off today, so this is short crude, so it seems like they want to be long this, so short crude. So all right, no change on the oh, let's look at the McClellan real quick. Forgot. McClellan back up to minus 678, so we're still basically in a neutral area. It doesn't mean anything. So current market signals, no change here. We haven't really been moving that much. So that is it for today. Thanks for watching InvestSharp's Daily Market Analysis.